Hi, Professor Jim here, and I just want to take a moment to analyze the argument that we just looked at, all girls are evil. I noticed most of you disagreed with the argument, but we're struggling a little bit in trying to find out why. So I want to take a few moments, take a look at the argument, and then finally show you some of the ways I would have attacked the argument. So we had the question, are all girls evil? Well, we need to really look at the argument to try to find out. So let's take a look at it. After a little bit of discussion, he came up with the premise that girls equal money squared. He then looked at money and found that money was equal to all evil, the square root of all evil. And so he concluded that women equal all evil. So what do we have here? Well, a lot of you looked at it and said, the facts just aren't valid. So you felt that the facts weren't valid. But in this class, we're not going to use valid that way. In this class, individual facts are not valid or invalid. Validity measures the logic of the entire argument, the internal consistency of the argument, how an argument flows. A leads to B, which then leads to C, and which leads to a conclusion. So this is how the argument flows. An argument will have a degree of validity. What about facts? Well, individual facts have a degree of accuracy, and we'll talk about later on if a fact is accurate or inaccurate. So we were involved with three concepts. Truth with a small t, which is just really what you believe, your own personal opinion, may not be real significant in a critical thinking environment. We then looked at truth with a capital T, and we decided that was in this class we're going to use that as the ultimate accurate position. There can be no argument with that position. Problem is, I don't know how to discover it. And if we rely on truth, if we believe we have truth, we become what we call a dogmatic person. And that's a type of person that won't hear any more arguments or any new positions, and thus never really learns, never really grows. In this class, we're going to look at validity. And we're going to see how validity can be used to justify a position. So let's leave truth out of this and instead focus on validity. In fact, let's get truth completely out of this. So let me see how much you've learned so far. Let's take a look at validity and apply it to this argument. All professors at LAVC are sex symbols. Jim Martini is a professor at LAVC. I think you probably get an idea where this argument is going. That's right, Jim Martini is a sex symbol. Okay, the laughter you hear in the background is that of my wife. But I have a question for you. How valid is this argument? Well, believe it or not, it's 100% valid. Given that all professors at Valley College are sex symbols, given that I'm a professor at Valley College, there really is no other conclusion you can draw but that I'm a sex symbol. But is this true? I want you to answer, I don't know. Once we're comfortable with saying, I don't know, then we can rely on validity. Now, I don't want you to get discouraged about this, because validity is what we use in science to try to find out the degrees of certainty of propositions, and it's also what we use in law. You'll notice law has scales there, and they measure, is one argument a little more valid than the other? Does one argument have a little higher quality of evidence than the other argument? So it's not, truth is never really discovered in law. So, in this argument, how do we disagree with this? Well, first of all, he makes several propositions. If women equals money times time, all you have to say is no, women don't. There are some women that don't require much money and some women that don't require much time. So once you eliminate these sort of propositions, you can't really apply them in a valid argument. Second, did you notice he had a little trouble spelling mathematical? That may hurt his credibility a little bit and you don't quite trust him. And then finally, what I thought was interesting were the conclusions. All girls are evil. Is that the same thing as women equal all evil? It seems to me that all girls are evil might say they're not quite all bad. There's some good to them, but they have an evil streak to them. But the second one, women are all evil, means they're nothing else but evil. So I'm not sure if those two are the same. In fact, you probably never want to come home to someone who's all evil. I hope this helps out a little bit, and you can begin to see where we're going. We've got a certain vocabulary that we use, and we're gonna use that to become stronger critical thinkers. I'll see you more online.